Let me tell you something that might shake you. If you grew up without real emotional love, not the "I love you" that people said but didn't mean, not the affection that came with conditions attached, but real, unconditional, safe love, your brain didn't just survive. It evolved. And I don't mean that in some inspirational, everything happens for a reason kind of way. I mean it literally, neurologically, psychologically. Your nervous system, faced with emotional scarcity, did something extraordinary. It rewired itself to protect you in ways that most people's brains will never develop. Right now, you might feel like you're too guarded in relationships, too sensitive to rejection, too afraid of being a burden, too unable to accept love when it's offered, too disconnected from your own emotions. And the world keeps telling you, just open up, just trust people, just relax. But here's what nobody tells you. These aren't flaws, they're adaptations. Next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you 7 psychological survival mechanisms that science has discovered in people who grew up emotionally unloved. These aren't weaknesses, they're powers that came at a cost most people will never understand. Because here's the truth, only people who survived emotional poverty develop this level of emotional intelligence. You're not broken, you're a survivor with abilities others don't have. Let's dive in. Trait 1, the emotional threat detector. Here's something you've probably experienced 100 times. You're having a perfectly normal conversation with someone. Everything seems fine. They're smiling. They're engaged. But something in your gut is screaming. Something's wrong. Maybe their smile didn't quite reach their eyes. Maybe they paused half a second too long before responding. Maybe their "I'm fine" had a microscopic edge you can't even explain, and you can't shake it. Hours later, you're still replaying that moment, asking yourself, did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? Are they pulling away? Everyone tells you you're overthinking, but 3 days later, they pull back, or they admit they were upset, or the relationship shifts exactly how your gut predicted, and you think, I knew it. Why didn't I trust myself? Here's what's actually happening. When you grow up in an environment where love is unpredictable, where affection appears and disappears randomly, where warmth comes only after you perform perfectly, where emotional safety is a gamble, your brain develops what neuroscientists call hypervigilant threat monitoring. The science, research from Yale's neuroscience lab, shows that children who experience emotional inconsistency develop 43% more reactive amygdala, the brain's alarm system for detecting danger. Your brain literally learned to treat emotional danger the same way someone else's brain treats physical danger. So while most people can take interactions at face value, your brain is running a real-time threat assessment, analyzing micro-expressions, detecting tone shifts, reading body language, cross-referencing past patterns, predicting future rejection. A real example, your friend cancels plans. They say, sorry, I'm just really tired. Most people think, okay, cool. Your brain thinks, tired? Or tired of me? They didn't suggest rescheduling. Red flag. Their text was shorter than usual. Last time we hung out. Did I talk too much? Are they slowly distancing themselves? People call this anxiety, but psychology calls this adaptive threat detection. You're not paranoid. You're perceptive. Your childhood taught you that emotional withdrawal happens suddenly, without warning. So your nervous system developed an early warning radar that detects relationship shifts before they become obvious. The hidden power. While this feels exhausting, it also means you see red flags others miss. You detect lies instantly. You understand emotional subtext. You protect yourself before you get hurt. You sense when people are fake. This isn't overthinking. This is survival intelligence. Your emotional radar isn't broken. It's just set to a frequency most people can't hear. But emotional threat detection is just one adaptation. The second one explains why compliments feel like traps. Trait 2, the kindness interrogator. Quick question. When someone genuinely compliments you, what's your first thought? If you're like most people who grew up unloved, it's not gratitude, it's suspicion. Someone says, you did an amazing job on this, and your brain immediately starts asking, what do they want from me? Are they being sarcastic? What's the catch? When will they take it back? Do they actually mean it? Or are they just being polite? You can't just receive it, because your childhood taught you a brutal lesson. Kindness is conditional, and conditions can change without warning. Here's what happens neurologically. When you grow up without stable affection, your brain develops what psychologists call negative core beliefs, automatic assumptions about your own worth. These beliefs are stored in networks involving the hippocampus, memory, and prefrontal cortex. Self-evaluation. When someone offers you genuine warmth today, that kindness collides with your childhood template. Your stored belief says, "I'm not worthy of unconditional love." The compliment says, "You are worthy." Your brain rejects the input because it doesn't match the data. It's like trying to install new software on an old operating system. It just doesn't compute. The painful paradox: you crave connection. You want to be loved. But your nervous system treats love like a foreign language. Beautiful, but incomprehensible. Real-world example. Someone says, "I'm proud of you." Instead of your heart expanding, your stomach tightens. Why? Because in your childhood, pride was either never expressed, only expressed when you achieved something, used as manipulation. "I'm proud when you do what I want." So now, genuine pride feels dangerous. Because if they're proud now, they can be disappointed later. The hidden power. While this makes receiving love difficult, it also makes you exceptional at detecting fake affection, highly skeptical of manipulation, protective of your authentic self, unable to be charmed by surface-level gestures. You don't accept love blindly. You evaluate it. And in a world full of conditional affection disguised as love, that's a superpower. Your difficulty receiving kindness isn't a flaw. It's your brain protecting you from repeating childhood disappointment. But this leads directly to the third adaptation. Trait 3, the achievement addict. Let me describe something you know too well. You finish a project. It's objectively excellent. People praise you. Your boss is impressed. But instead of celebrating, you're already thinking, "What's next? What else do I need to prove?" Rest feels wrong. Doing nothing feels like failure. The moment you stop achieving, you feel this creeping anxiety. If I'm not producing, do I even matter? Here's why. If your childhood love was conditional, if affection appeared only when you got good grades, stayed quiet, helped around the house, made your parents look good, didn't cause problems, then your brain formed a survival equation. Worth equals performance. Not consciously, but deep in your neural wiring, the neuroscience. Research shows that inconsistent emotional nurturing creates what psychologists call conditional self-worth, where your identity becomes fused with achievement. Your prefrontal cortex, the brain's self-evaluation center, learned to equate productivity with safety. If you're not producing, then you feel exposed, vulnerable, worthless. This is why you become the reliable one who carries everyone's burdens. You can't say no without guilt. You overwork until you burn out. You achieve more than everyone but feel emptier. You fear that if you stop performing, people will abandon you. Or real example, you're sick. Everyone tells you to rest, but you can't because your brain is screaming. If you're not useful, you're not valuable. If you're not valuable, you'll be discarded. Rest feels like a luxury you haven't earned yet. People misread this as ambition. They see drive, discipline, success. They don't see the exhaustion beneath the competence, the fear beneath the perfectionism, the child who learned that love must be bought with achievement. But here's the hidden strength. While most people crumble under pressure, you've developed extraordinary resilience, strategic thinking, the ability to endure what others quit, a work ethic that's unmatched. Your drive isn't a flaw. It's proof of how hard you fought to earn something that should have been free. Love. You're not an overachiever. You're a survivor who learned that performance equals survival. But achievement addiction creates another problem, emotional numbness, which brings us to trait number 4. Trait 4, the emotional ghost. Here's a question that might hit hard. When was the last time you cried? Not forced tears? Not tears from a movie. Real, deep, cathartic crying. If you're struggling to remember, you're not alone. Because when you grow up without love, or worse, when expressing emotion got you punished, your brain does something brilliant and devastating. It dims the emotional volume, not because you don't feel, but because feeling was dangerous. Here's what happened. Maybe you got excited as a kid, and someone told you, "Stop being so dramatic." Maybe you cried, and they said, "I'll give you something to cry about." Maybe you got angry, and they punished you for talking back. Each time your emotions were invalidated, your brain learned emotions equals threat, so it started muting you from the inside. The neuroscience, repeated emotional invalidation alters communication between the anterior cingulate cortex, processes emotion, the prefrontal cortex regulates emotion. Over time, your brain leans toward emotional numbness, not as a flaw, but as a survival strategy. This is why you struggle to cry even when you want to. Joy feels distant, even in happy moments. You feel like you're watching your life from outside your body. Relationships feel like you're physically present, but emotionally absent. People say you're calm or composed, but inside you feel nothing. Real example, something wonderful happens. You get promoted. Someone confesses they love you. You achieve a major goal. Everyone expects you to be thrilled, but you feel muted, disconnected, like you're watching someone else's good news. And you think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just feel this? Here's the truth. Nothing is wrong with you. Your brain learned that big emotions, positive or negative, were met with dismissal, mockery, punishment, abandonment. So it turned down the dial to keep you safe. But here's the hidden power. While this feels isolating, it also means you don't drown in emotional chaos like others do. You stay steady in crises. You navigate storms with survivor's clarity. You don't make impulsive decisions based on feelings. Your emotional distance isn't coldness. It's a shield you built when nobody stood between you and the pain. And that shield can soften, not by forcing feelings, but by understanding why you hid them. But emotional numbness creates another challenge, the fear of being a burden, which is trait number 5. Trait 5, the invisible helper. Let me paint a picture. You're going through something really hard. Maybe a breakup, maybe a loss, maybe you're just struggling. Your friends ask, "Are you okay?" And you say, "Yeah, I'm fine." Even though you're not fine, even though you're barely holding it together. Because somewhere deep inside, you believe, if I need something, I will lose something. Here's where this comes from. When you were a child, and you reached for connection, and you were met with neglect, irritation, dismissal, not now. You're being too needy. Your brain internalized a brutal lesson. My needs are a burden. My pain is too much. I must handle everything alone. The psychology, repeated emotional neglect creates what researchers call an extremely low trust threshold. Your nervous system cannot believe that asking for support won't result in judgment, withdrawal, rejection, abandonment. So you become someone who apologizes before speaking, minimizes your struggles. It's not that bad. Waits until you're falling apart before asking for help, if you ask at all. Disappears when you're hurting to avoid burdening anyone. Real example, you're having a breakdown. Your friend texts, "How are you?" You type, "I'm actually really struggling right now. Can we talk?" Then you delete it and type, "I'm good. How are you?" Because your brain is running this calculation. If I tell them I'm struggling, then they'll think I'm dramatic. Then they'll pull away. Then I'll be alone. Then, which is what I deserve anyway. People misinterpret this as independence. They think, wow, they're so strong. They never need anyone. They don't realize your self-reliance was built from necessity, not choice. But here's the hidden strength. Because you never want to burden anyone, you've become exceptionally empathetic, highly attuned to others' emotions. The friend who notices when someone's struggling before they say anything. Someone who offers support before it's requested. Your fear of being a burden isn't selfishness. It's the echo of a childhood where your needs went unanswered. You were never too much. You were just carrying too much alone. But this fear creates another layer, relationship anxiety, which is trait number 6. Trait 6, the abandonment forecaster. Here's something you probably do without realizing it. You meet someone amazing, someone kind, consistent, emotionally available. Everything feels good. But instead of relaxing into it, your brain starts running disaster simulations. When will they leave? What will I do wrong that makes them go? How long until they realize I'm not worth it? Should I leave first to avoid the pain? You're not enjoying the relationship. You're preparing for its end. Here's why. When love was inconsistent in childhood, your brain developed what psychologists call anxious attachment, a relational style rooted in early unpredictability. Your nervous system learned, love doesn't last. People leave. Safety is temporary. So even when you're with someone safe today, your brain is stuck in yesterday, waiting for the other shoe to drop. The neuroscience, your amygdala, fear center, stays hyperactive in relationships, constantly scanning for signs of emotional withdrawal, decreased affection, impending abandonment. This is why you overthink every text delay. You panic when someone's tone shifts slightly. You need constant reassurance, but feel guilty for needing it. You sabotage good relationships because waiting for abandonment feels worse than causing it. You test people's loyalty to see if they'll stay. Real example, your partner doesn't text back for 3 hours. Logical brain, they're probably just busy. Your brain, they're losing interest. They found someone better. They're going to leave. I need to prepare. Maybe I should distance myself first. People call this insecurity, but it's actually trauma-informed prediction. Your brain isn't being irrational. It's using past data to predict future outcomes. The hidden power. While this creates relationship anxiety, it also means you notice when relationships are genuinely unhealthy. You detect emotional unavailability early. You protect yourself from people who aren't serious. You value commitment deeply because you know what it's like to lose it. Your fear of abandonment isn't weakness. It's your brain trying to protect you from experiencing childhood pain again. But there's one final adaptation, the one that ties everything together. Trait 7, the inner orphan. Here's the final piece. Deep inside, no matter how old you are, no matter how successful or independent or strong you've become, there's a part of you that still feels like that unloved child. The one who wondered, why don't they want me? The one who thought, if I were different, maybe they'd love me. The one who learned to survive alone because nobody came. Psychologists call this the inner child. But for you, it's more specific. It's the inner orphan, not because you were literally orphaned, but because emotionally, you grew up without the parent you needed. Here's what this means. No matter how much therapy you do, how much you achieve, how many people love you now, that inner orphan is still there, asking, am I enough yet? Can I rest now? Will someone finally choose me? The psychology. This isn't pathological. It's called an internal working model, a deep template your brain built in childhood about your worth, others' reliability, the nature of love, and because it formed young, it becomes the lens through which you experience all relationships. Real example, someone loves you unconditionally, but your inner orphan whispers, they don't know the real you yet. When they see it, they'll leave too. So you hide parts of yourself. You perform. You try to be perfect. Not because you're fake, but because your inner orphan is terrified of being abandoned again. But here's the profound truth. That inner orphan isn't a burden. It's the core of your empathy. It's why you understand loneliness with a fluency others can't imagine, see pain in others before they name it, can't walk past someone suffering without helping, create safety for others that you never had. Your inner orphan isn't a flaw. It's the source of your compassion. Conclusion. So here's the truth. If you grew up without real love, your brain didn't just survive, it developed. 1. The emotional threat detector. You see danger, others miss too. The kindness interrogator. You detect fake affection instantly. 3. The achievement addict. You've built resilience through necessity. 4. The emotional ghost. You navigate chaos with clarity. 5. The invisible helper. You give to others what you never received. 6. The abandonment forecaster. You protect yourself before you're hurt. 7. The inner orphan. You understand pain with profound depth. These aren't flaws. They're survival adaptations. You're not too guarded. You're appropriately protective. You're not too sensitive. You're exceptionally perceptive. You're not broken. You're a survivor with abilities others will never develop. The world will tell you to, Just get over it. But you don't need to get over it. You need to understand it, honor it, integrate it, because you didn't just survive emotional poverty. You became extraordinary because of it. You're not too much. You were just too alone, and you deserved better. Which trait resonated most? Drop a comment. And if this made you feel seen instead of judged, subscribe, because this channel exists for survivors like you. You're not broken. You're a survivor with powers most people will never understand. And that's not a flaw. That's a badge of honor.